get asked all the time, you know, how I got involved in the hypnosis world, and it's a really interesting story. I've always been a believer, like in the law of attraction, like who you know, always focusing on what you want. And I've always been, like, when I was in high school, I was the class clown. I was in a band in high school, and always saw myself like in front of people, very, very comfortable in front of people. And one thing led to another. My whole life, my whole adult life, I've been kind of involved in like marketing and sales and motivating and empowerment. I was a life coach for a while, and about 8 years ago, yeah, almost about 8-9 years ago, my wife and I go to Vegas about 3 times a year, and we're standing in line to see this show. I don't know why we went and saw it, but again, probably law of attraction type thing. Like, you know, I was putting it out there, like I want to do something really cool with my life and do something different. And we're standing in line at this Hypnosis Gone Wild show in Las Vegas, and so I think it was a late show, something like that. I get a tap on my shoulder, and I look to my right, and he goes, "Hey, you here to see my show?" And I go, "Well, like, who are you?" You know, I had no idea who he was, because it didn't say, you know, who we were seeing. It just said Hypnosis Gone Wild. And he goes, "My name is Michael Johns, and I'm the guy you're going to see tonight." And I go, "Great." And we got to talking, and it was really interesting. The conversation we had was not a conversation of two strangers. It was a conversation of two people that, like, it's like we knew each other our whole lives, and we were just getting caught up, and we had the same backgrounds. And you know, he was in a band in high school, and he was in the military like I was, and there was just a lot of we were just really connected. And then I never forget it. I go, "You know what? I would love to learn to do what you do." I don't know what made me want to say it, but for whatever reason I said it. And he goes, "Really?" And he goes, "Well, come see me after the show." So long story short, we met after the show and got to talking, and the next day he said, "I'll tell you what, let's go to lunch and let's really talk about doing something." So again, there was that connection there. And the next day for lunch, he said, "Here's what I'm going to do." He goes, "If you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you read these books, you watch this, you do this, I'll mentor you." And I'm like, "You will?" So I read these books, did all this stuff, and you know, about a month later, so I called him and I said, "Hey, Michael, I finished doing what you wanted me to do." And he goes, "Great. If I ever come out on the road, I'm gonna call you and let you know, and maybe you can see what I do out on the road." So about a month after that, he called me. Says, "Hey, I'm going to be in Iowa." I was living in Nebraska at the time. He goes, "I'm going to be in Iowa doing about 4 or 5 shows. Why don't you come on the road with me?" I said, "Sure." So for those 4 or 5 days, I pretty much ate, drank, and slept with the guy. Everything that he did, I was, you know, taking notes, I was videotaping, I was watching, and I became an apprentice. And we got finished. It was like a Thursday night. I'm driving home from Iowa. I come home, and my wife goes, "So what'd you think?" And I said, I probably could do it. I mean, I was like, "Yeah, I could do that." And she goes, "Great, because you have a show Sunday night." And I went, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I booked you at the Joyo Theater in Lincoln for a Sunday night comedy night, and you're headlining." I went, "What?" So this is 4 days after I made the decision, yeah, I could do this. I was booked for a show to headline at the Joyo Theater as the premier hypnotist in the country. So my wife expedited everything. I had 4 days to go over everything in my head that I'd seen and watched and studied, and I was hypnotizing. I hypnotized my wife, I'm hypnotizing my kids, I'm hypnotizing my dog, I'm looking in the mirror, I'm hypnotizing myself. I'm just trying to learn the lingo and everything. And sure enough, 4 days later, the Joyo Theater at 8 o'clock, I hit the stage, I asked for volunteers, I get like 16 people to come up, I knocked out 14 of them, and that night I said, "You know what, this is what I'm going to do forever." So that was 8 years ago. So literally in a period of 4 days, my entire life changed. So be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for, because it comes, and when it comes, you gotta be ready for it. So kind of a fun story. I love telling it. Everybody always asks, you know, "Did you go to school for it? Did you get a college degree for it?" and all that stuff. And it's like, nope. It was one night. I looked at somebody and said, "I'd love to learn to do what you do," and my whole life changed. So kind of fun.